Hello everyone, welcome to SLM tutorial and this is our new session on learning VBA Macro. This session is actually in continue to my last session where I was talking about how to use VLOOKUP and automate the steps, the procedure on a large data. If you remember or if you have not seen my last video, I would request you to please go through the playlist or the link given below in the description and you see my last watch my last video and you can follow up on this video or you can relate this video from my last video how did we write all these codings. Just to give you a brief, this is the data I have, a large data about some order details where I got an assignment where I was asked that under the ship mode title or the category we should have a risk category as per the each class, second class, standard class, or whatever from this sheet. Like if under this column E, if anything is saying second class, the risk level, the VLOOKUP value should show very low, or standard class, then VLOOKUP value should be low, or first class, then high. And where my VLOOKUP value or VLOOKUP data should be appearing, it should come at the very last column, which is V. We did not have, see, earlier it is like this, and we automate this VLOOKUP in a way that if we press this run this macro, we run macro by playing this running or pressing this play button or F5, we should have the corresponding VLOOKUP values. However, in my last session we were getting some errors. So in this session I'm going to discuss about how to handle an error, or I'm especially talking about how to handle an error of this procedure. So in my last session, we were getting some error messages, and we were getting those messages or those pop-up? Actually, my data is up to the raw 9995, where I wanted. So my data is up to 9995, and if I go below this row, it's blank. And if I run my macro without calling here 9995, which is the last row which contains the actual data, if I don't use this 995, it will not run my macro, and that's where I need to handle my error. I do not want my macro or my procedure to be bounded by something called raw boundations or column boundations. So I want to remove this. I want to instruct my VBA coding that if you come across this error or such an error, please ignore it or skip it. Go to the next step. So to generally we use error handling procedures to come up with to cop up with or to handle some special errors or some known errors. Here I don't want to cop up or handle any error. Rather I want my VB to simply be instructed to skip or ignore the error and follow the procedures and complete my macro. To start for any error handling procedure, you say on error resume next. Guys, remember, if you follow these steps I am telling here, uh, you know in this video or in some of my past videos, trust me, if you memorize these steps, the concepts, how we're doing, you will be very efficient on at least few early macros. And once you are able to recall the procedures, the steps, and the way you use them, trust me, you can change them, modify them, edit them according to your need, according to your project, according to your, you know, the way you want to automate your particular process you do generally your, during your job or your business work. So I write on error, resume next. Here I'm saying I'm instructing my macro that if you come across an error, resume next, and just below, after completing my codes, just below, I will write how to handle my error. I say if error dot number, you see number not equal to 0, then see every error contains a number, a description, a message, and generally those are above 0 and those are not 0. But here I'm creating a vague situation, a fake situation, that if error number is not 0, then I am using a blank column. What I'll do, how I'll do, okay, I know my data, my last column is V, where my last data appears, and I want to use this uh, not of any use column to direct my error handler. So I will use this cell W2. It'll do nothing. It just uh, you know bring my error handler or my macro to a situation where it'll skip the error and complete my macro procedure. And how will I do it? If error, okay, I want to show you something first before I run this all. Why I'm talking, what actually I'm talking about. If I do not use this 995, I use it 10,000, suppose, or 11,000, 12,000. So I know after 9995 row, I don't have a data. If I run it now, it'll give me an error. Here it is. Because it cannot find the VLOOKUP value. So I'll ignore it. I'll instruct my macro to ignore it. 1004. So if error on error resume next. Sorry. On error resume next. How you start? After completing my codes, I'll say if error dot number is not equal to 0, then I say a range. See, I want to use uh, uh, cell W2. So I say range, double quotes or inverted commas, W2 dot value equals to empty. So I'm saying if error comes, make W2 empty, which is already an empty. So it doesn't matter. It will not impact my data or anything else until I use my W column for any purpose. I want to use some data here. I want to do some calculation here. I know in this report I'm not going to do anything here. If I do anything here, I'll take something else further or anything you wanna take on. Now, if I take any number here, 10,000, 12,000, 11,000, 15,000, I don't care where my data, up to which row my data is, this error will not appear and my macro will be running and completed. As soon as I press this button, I run. Okay, what? What's the, okay, let's see this. Compilation error. Next without for. Okay, so every time you, you know, what I say, you say if. So this is a new procedure, a sub procedure, right? So I have to close it. Like we start our macro from sub and sub. I started my procedure for 4. You see 4. I closed it by next. Here I started my procedure with if and I'll close it with end if. And this is required, needed always. Now I run my macro. No error. My data will be appearing there. So if I even take 12,000, it will not create any error. And to understand this error handling completely, please watch my last session and you can find it out from the playlist link given in the description below, or you can ask me, I can send it to you directly. And that's where you can understand how you use this error handler. You must understand the error handler procedure. Let me show you the final grid. Okay, okay, minimize. So I automated that behalf of some criteria. I'll be getting some values here in V column. As soon as I run my macro here, I'll start getting the values. Okay, let it complete first, please. Complete it. You see, I have value till 995. After that, there's nothing, but it's not impacting my macro to stop or because I have given a error handler. So this is all for now. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day ahead. Goodbye.